Oh hey, let's go kick Sholmes' ass. Read Madame Tuspells. I have a strong suspicion that it is related to the matter about which you have come to me now. But how could it be? He's doing the thing again. We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow. But for now, I must return to my work. Oh. What? Back to being a temporary waxwork exhibit? Oh, you can leave us hanging after that cliffhanger? Really, Sholmes? Well, alright. Mr. Sholmes, about this. As you will see, I'm rather busy at the moment. If it's advice you seek, come to my office tomorrow and I shall be happy to help you. Shall we say, threepence per item as a consultation fee? That's 2 hours of gas, that is. He's very dedicated. What is this place? Madame Tuspells came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. Since she opened this little waxwork museum last year, it's enjoyed great popularity in London. There are museums like this in Japan, too. But these displays are something else. I mean, they aren't made from actual real people, are they? The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tuspells family, as they say. They earned renown during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims of the guillotine. Ah, that sounds grim. The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism in the expression of the faces of the condemned. Apparently, the sculptors would make the models directly from the corpses, right there at the side of the executions. That really turns my stomach. That's just one of several legends about the Tuspells family. Whether there's any truth in it, I couldn't say. This is rather morbid. Anyway, this museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area of the museum by quite some margin is this House of Horrors. A House of Horrors? Of course, visitor numbers are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition. But people usually flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals at their gruesome work. Naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows. Oh, they're even stiffer now than the models for them. Have you heard of poor taste? My dear fellow, the public live for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked. So, the hideous exhibits in here are... they're all portrayals of real events that actually took place. Is it just me, or did the temperature in here just seem to drop? Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here. Oh, he's back to being a waxwork, is he? Cheeky bugger. What do you mean by a temporary waxwork, Mr. Sholmes? Exactly what you see. I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act. Catching them? Every half an hour I hone in on a different killer in one of the displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare him. Okay, that's kind of a cute touch. I feel like that's a thing that they'd, like, have a lookalike actor do in a real equivalent. That's kind of cute. When members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them my hand to shake. For a shilling, I'll happily allow them to take a photograph with us. Us? Does he mean him and the waxwork murderers in here? But why, Mr. Sholmes? Because I need money. My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money. He really roared at me there. Very fitting for the House of Horrors. As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent, and I have the ravenous iris to consider. Oh, Hurley, I'm so hungry. If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Naruhodo. What's he threatening to rope me into now? So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? As a special treat, you may have your pick of the murderers and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours. Maybe some other time. Remember, Mr. Naruhodo, ignore me at your peril. Back to being a waxwork again. Just muted his final remark there sounded a lot like a curse. We sure are in the House of Horrors. Well, what is it you'd like to ask me then? Actually, it's about Lord Van Zeeks. Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust. And so I filled Mr. Sholmes in about everything I'd learned. About Lord Van Zeeks, about Professor Hairbrain, and about the strange coincidence that they had been at the university together. So I'm wondering, what was it that happened to make Lord Van Zeeks such a different person? I was sure that you'd know, Hurley. You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before. That something was afoot. That you believed it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Mr. Sholmes? He suddenly clammed up. Well, it seems we've reached the unavoidable... Greetings. Ma'am? Oh! Hello. Where did she appear from? What's she wearing? Could she look any more mysterious? I hope you are appreciating my museum. Sorry? Have we... Mr. Sholmes, do you know this? Not again! My apologies. I am Esmeralda Tuspells. This is my museum of waxwork. What, you're the Madame Tuspells? Bien sûr. So only 26 years young, I might add. Is that significant somehow? I'm a Madame in name only. It adds a certain je ne sais quoi. Right. Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks. Or rather, one waxwork in particular. That'll be Mr. Sholmes, then. I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle. Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toil and trouble. He sounds deadly serious. That's a problem. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Van Zeeks now? Let's not forget what Hurley said before. About something being afoot. Right here in the museum, I mean. Yes, I know, but... I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here. Haven't we got enough on our plate already? I would not mind talking to Madame Tuspells a little bit more. Ma'am? Madame, there's something I'd like to show you. And yes, what is that? I remarked on it myself immediately, and I've been very curious since. Well, it's actually the mark of a defense lawyer in the Empire of Japan. Oh, quel dommage. Not as interesting as I'd hoped. What exactly were you expecting from an armband? Don't look so downtrodden. I'm sorry. Did you make all these waxworks, Madame Tuspells? I did. I am the third generation of waxwork artisans, you know. Gosh! It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. Her fortunes were checkered, living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution, as she did. That is when she acquired the savoir-faire that leads to the astonishing lifelikeness. All these waxworks really do look as though they are alive. In fact, they look more alive than Hurley. What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal past. All the waxworks were crafted in the presence of the real people on which they are modeled. In the hours immediately following their executions, that is the secret to the extraordinary lifelikeness. That sounds terrifying. All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade par excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see. Oh. Why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying? Do not fear. Sorry? This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. There are models of famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for every taste, I hope. It was Iris who dragged me straight in here, come to think of it. Sorry. Perhaps I should have eased you into things. The murder mystery nut in Iris dragged us straight here and won't let us leave. What's the situation with that? Ah, my temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal. Oh, what sort of proposal? My dear madame, what these sparse exhibits need is the addition of a world-famous great detective. Or words to that effect. Naturally, I am well aware that Mr. Sholmes is widely known in London as a talented detective. It's a great detective, actually. He's very specific about it. Yes, the creme de la creme. So I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree terms. Let me guess. Someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services. For a mere £500? I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment. Oh, words to that effect. The Sholmes might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch. Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances. So he came to the current arrangement instead. Surely he doesn't really need to do what he's doing, though, does he? I would think not, but he was very insistent. I have a 50-shilling problem that must be resolved by this morning. What are you into, Holmes? Oh, words to that effect. It's the pawnbroker, that's what it is. Must have something to redeem. Is the consulting detective work not going so well? Oh boy. Alright, what's afoot? It's at the bottom of your leg, I know. I wonder, could I ask you something? Bien sûr. I'm just curious, is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps? Whoever suggested such a thing to you? Oh, well, was your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little. Oh, he's disappeared. A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade. Ah! There you are! Leaving the exhibit again, Rod, you should be working. Uh-oh. Get in the wax. Do you wish to be melted down? My dear Madame Tuspells, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's our ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police. Why ever not? He's turned as white as a sheet. Because you have at your disposal a great detective whose services you may employ for mere 50 shillings. Please be aware that I prefer no. I insist upon payment in advance. Very well. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we? Alright, now it's time to cook. Before I engage my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain? That is the Tuspells special exhibit. There's an extra charge to see it. Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horrors. Must have picked a special killer then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder? Absolutely none. There's nothing amiss behind there. Nothing amiss, madame? What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? Ah. I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond before the situation worsens. Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only a soupçon. A soupçon. I must confess I peeked behind the curtain earlier. The Tuspells special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. Yet somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What does strike one, however, is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor. Ah. That is odd. Well, then, perhaps, Mr. Sholmes, that man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself? I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact. What? As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans. So, allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit. Why? Why would you say that? And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime. She looks as pale as candle wax. I don't understand. So, Madame Tuspells, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Here we go. Great deduction. It's been too long. Waxwork's fate. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some £200. That is all my own money. So what does this large sum of money reveal? Oh, the eyes looked. Not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Tuspells. Yet, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the £200 is revealed by that public notice. Waxwork for sale. Your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece of your special exhibit, for the sum of £200. No! Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? That's a good question. It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Oh, she flinched. Unfortunately, madame, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the £200. It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively. What are you suggesting? He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of £200. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him what an extortionate amount he was paying. The money was no longer in his hands. The result, the scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a special price. Fetched a killer price. Ayo. I can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret. There your clothes transformed. Sold for cash, oh boy. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider that problem for a moment. You cannot possibly... immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Oh, she looks somewhere else. Who is this fellow? Oh, statues available, please inquire. To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief. I'm just noticing the sign back here. Statues available, please inquire. His neckerchief, though. Such as is worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman currently investigating this museum. Eh? I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay. What are you talking about? The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards. But let's return our attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely and he hasn't moved a muscle, almost in fact, as if he were a waxwork. Ah, but you have actually confirmed my suspicions, madame. Noted at once, of course. Observe. Oh, that price tag's for the scarf, isn't it? The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. Tuppence, a tragically low price, you might say. Though perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks. And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant £200. The sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Is that so, madame? I do not. Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit and not a moment too soon. This concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. Yay! Hurley, what the fuck are you talking about? Get into vax. I see I've stunned you all into silence. You have, Hurley. You have. And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot. If I could just bring up 1 point, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, the notorious Naruhodo 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow. According to your deduction, then the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So that would mean that he's the particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it? A killer policeman. Automo. Sorry? It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. And the police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the aether. And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself. A senior officer by the name of Automo. So you mean that's who this sinister-looking old man there is supposed to be? Indeed, it is a particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well. But is £200 a lot of money for a wax model? It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages if that puts things into perspective. So, it is quite a lot then. Is there anything else you wish to add before I melt you down? The bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous. The smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me. Dr. Sholmes did more or less just accuse her to her face, so I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris, if that's all right. Make some minor corrections to the great detective's great deductions. Oh, this is our first time doing this with Iris. We've always done this with Susanna, haven't we? Of course it's all right. We'll soon set things straight. Well, let's get started then, shall we? Because even in case 5, Susanna was always there, I think? I don't think we've done this. I don't think we've done this with Iris yet. Before Madame Tuspells vents her anger. Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow. So, Madame Tuspells, in accordance with our agreement, we shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Hold it, Mr. Holmes. Mr. Sholmes. Alright, let's review. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some 200 pounds. That is all my own money. So what does this large sum of money reveal? Whoop, got him. Ah, not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Tuspells. Yet, the answer lies with you where your eyes now fall. The significance of these 200 pounds is revealed by that public notice. She definitely looked in this direction, it's true. But I'm not sure she'd sell any of her waxworks, even for 200 pounds. Oh? Must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and above the wax. If I were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything. That much money, I would. It sounds like that makes me a bad person. Well, anyway. Yeah, I wonder if the 200 pounds could have some other significance. Let's follow that furtive glance again and see if there's anything else that could explain it. Alright, what else is here? Anything else we can look at? Public notice. Seems this well-dressed gentleman is alive after all. Just not alive and kicking. And he's not a waxwork, or a model, or a mass murderer. I'm not sure I'd pay 200 pounds for him. I don't think the man's up for sale. But anyway, it was a silly place to put him. The museum visitors could easily trip. I don't think the man was put there on purpose either. And the only thing here seems to be... Let's actually read this. Waxwork for sale. Would anyone really buy models of mass murderers? I think I'd rather have 200 pounds in my pocket. Exactly. You'd buy one of those brand new types of steam carriages. That's what I'd spend it on if I had it, no question. Ooh, I'd buy all the herbs in the world. Must be another explanation for the money. I need to keep looking. The only thing we can actually seem to look at here is the old man, so... Portly man.
Take that!
Nope. We're missing something then. This gentleman on the floor must know the significance of the 200 pounds. What we need to do is wake him, and we'll have our answer. With no need to deduce anything. A shirking of that nature will hasten the end of the world, Mr. Naruhodo. The end of the world? And there's a distinct possibility that the man has no knowledge of the money anyway. Oh. So, do you cause the destruction of our planet, or continue with the deduction process? The choice is yours. Looks like I'd better get back to saving the world then. Oh. Woman was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, it seems. There's no doubt that Madame Tuspells did react to what Mr. Sholmes said. But she automatically looked over this way must tell us something, I'm sure. Let's have more of a look around. Okay. How much are we actually able to look around here? I'm an idiot. I forgot how things work. Hello. What are you? What's that note doing pinned on the wall there? Oh, yes, let's see. Dear Madame Tuspells, we've taken the prisoner from this room. The price for his safe return is 200 pounds. Have the money ready by noon on 23rd October. What? This is like the sort of thing that's left behind when someone is kidnapped. Yes, it's a ransom note. Exactly. Well, that explains it.
Take that!
So this is the significance of the 200 pounds was revealed by that ransom note. Quite so, and we must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness, abducting a waxwork. £200 is no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it. The model in question has special importance, so I put together all the money I have. In summary then, the £200 you have in your handbag is ransom money. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Oh, she's looking again. Ah. Unfortunately, madame, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the £200. So if the waxwork was kidnapped, where does that leave us in terms of who this man is? We could just ask him when he comes round. I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris. Yes, you're right. Hardy's trying so hard. We mustn't let him down. Well, there's the little doubt that he suffered a shock. That much seems clear. In that case, what's Madame Tuspells trying to hide? Let's have a closer look all around. Alright, let's go. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Oh, wow, we can look lots of places. Well, we're looking on her. Your hand? What's up there? This is just Madame Tuspells' right hand, isn't it? Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand, after all. Oh, but wait a minute. This is a left hand as well. Look. Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please. And it seems very stiff, too. In fact, it's really hard. You mean... it's made of wax? Let's examine your hair. Madame Tuspells has very long hair, doesn't she? Yes, but you couldn't tell by looking at her from the front. You know, it looks rather like a whip, don't you think? The sort of whip that could have floored the gentleman with a single crack. It's a little far-fetched even for you, Runo. Anything else on her we can... What on earth is... I just want to know what these are. On your belt here. Wax bullets. Or else.
Take that!
Alright, I think that's it. Bonk. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand. Indeed. With a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow. How could you? The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand, but closer inspection reveals that, in fact, it's a left hand. And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madame. It is the hand of the waxwork model. Yeah! Some of the visitors to my museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage. So you mean that arm? Yes, this gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir. No small keepsake. Like taking a whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms. I'm afraid I had to teach the man a lesson. Oh, you won't tell. He deserved it. We confronted the man and tried to take the arm back. And the result, the scene we see before us. He was knocked unconscious. Exactly in that progression. He twirled around goofily and then fell right straight on his back. He just staggered in a circle, fell straight on his back, King Hippo style. Point we need to revisit later, but for the time being we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped. The question that arises then is, what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider that problem for a moment. You cannot possibly... What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief. According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to the other policemen that some crime is underway. A way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity. Yes. It's a secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard. That Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away. Well, uncovering secrets is in any true detective's nature, of course. Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Tuspells' reaction to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, I think perhaps we might not have identified the man quite correctly. Oh, you're missing an arm, sir. I've seen hats like this in Japan as well. They're called flat caps, aren't they? Yes, or hunting caps. Hardy's hat is called a deer stalker, by the way. Hunting. Stalking. The British certainly seem keen on catching game. Every time I see a deer stalker, I automatically think of Mr. Sholmes. But a flat cap makes me think of a Japanese country gentleman somehow. In other words, people from all walks of life wear all different types of hat. That doesn't really help us. What's behind your back, sir? Examine this. A secret scarf sign to warn other agents of an ongoing crime. I know, it sounds so thrilling, doesn't it? Maybe I'll try to work it into next month's installment. But then the police's secret will be revealed to all of London's 6 million inhabitants. Well, they'll just have to come up with a new sign, I suppose. How is this 10-year-old meant to have such terrifying influence? She is the center of pop culture. What the? Man has the stub sticking out of his shoulder where his arm should be. Ah, well that settles that then. Right, this isn't a real person at all. His entire arm's been ripped off from the shoulder down. His arm's been... Of course, that ties in with what we just found out.
Take that!
Bonk. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his shoulder stub. No such boneless human walks on this earth. Of that I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact, defying all odds, a waxwork model. I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes. He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man. And naturally, what other explanation could there be? And it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor of the special exhibit, was it? Let's turn our attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely and he hasn't moved a muscle, almost in fact, as if he were a waxwork. Oh? That gets a reaction, but I think he's wrong. Ah, but you... The reaction only confirms my suspicions, madame. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe. A telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. Killer policeman called Ottermore, was it? Was he well known? It was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like. It's a very low price, though. Tuppence isn't much money. Only enough for a few measly hours of gas at Mr. Garridim's delightful lodgings, in fact. This is the special killer taken for the special exhibit, is it? A waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for £200. Is this crusty old killer policeman Ottermore? Really? Perhaps we should have a good look around again and see if another idea crops up. £3. It's a far cry from £200, isn't it? With tuppence you could buy it and put it on display in your room, Runo. I think I'd rather not go to sleep being watched by an old man if it's all the same to you. This price tag does stand out, doesn't it? I mean, you couldn't even buy the helmet on his head for that much money, I don't think. I wonder what the price tag's really for, then. It's the hanger, it's the kerchief. Hi there, buddy. I don't believe it. It's a secret sign that lets other detectives know some criminal activity is underway. Yes, it's a slightly strange choice of outfit he was trying to go unnoticed. Ah, he must be a detective disguised as a policeman. Or detective disguised as a waxwork model of a policeman. Doesn't look like he's clever enough to think of something like that, though. I should try to be a little more polite about him. Look at this! The old man's tapping his foot like crazy. Seems to be fast asleep, though. He's not tapping his foot consciously, then? So you mean... Must be a twitch. Never mind that. The point is, the waxworks don't tap their feet. Or a twitch. Look at his arm, too. We've seen a scarf like that somewhere else around here, haven't we?
Take that!
Easy enough. Bonk. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious twitch. Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, this splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard. Slight shift in your choice of adjectives, then. And there you have it. Well, Madame Tuspells. Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place. He's clearly fatigued. He is sound asleep. Then what's this tag about showing a price of 3 pence? We have the price tag of the muffler, which the old Bobby purchased recently at a local market. I presume you have observed the scarf tied around his arm. Does that not strike you, Mr. Naruhodo? And yes, the secret sign used by detectives to show that some criminal activity is currently underway. Of course, because, as you know, there's been just such criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, detective. So it would seem that we finally arrive at the truth. The waxwork of the especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped. And Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. This concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. Holmes manifesting his jacket and hat, like in Fate series, the Spirit Form style. All sorts of people visit my museum here, men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. If anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. As you shouldn't. Deservedly. Anyway. Oh, a smile. Your great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe. It was a pleasure, my dear madame. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle. As for your rough customer, I've no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork for this special display, if it was indeed genuinely abducted. Yes, tragically, it was. And I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. As much detail as possible, if you please. Very well. But after I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work. The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish. We need the money, so here we are. Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please. It was some days ago now, when I came in here on one morning. I immediately noticed that a waxwork was missing from the special exhibit here. It is your most prominent display. So, that's why the curtains were closed. And I found a ransom note in its place. The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it then. So this waxwork that was stolen was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose? A particularly horrible criminal, in fact. It's a killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other, I would say. The Professor. Not even I've heard of. So, Mr. Naruhodo, it seems the circle is complete. Sorry? The Professor case happened around the time I was born, didn't it? Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital. 10 years ago? Yes, at exactly the time that Baruch von Zieks graduated from university, in fact. What? Surely he's not saying. So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life? As you've surmised, it was the Professor case. Who was this Professor, then? Oh boy, here we go. It was a series of gruesome murders that had all of London gripped in terror a decade ago. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death. And now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Imagine, I like to think there's some scorn there. Well, of course, he happens to be absent at present, on account of the abduction. I don't understand. How is all this related to Lord Van Zieks? You must first understand, my dear fellow, why it is that the Professor earns such infamy. It was due to the victims he chose. Some of Whitehall's finest. What do you mean, Hurley? It was murdered by the Professor, with some of the highest members of the British aristocracy. Members of the nobility, even royalty. It sent shockwaves through the country's administration. Members of the... wait, of course! Professor Harebrain said. Lord Van Zieks is from a family with noble blood. Oh, gosh! It was the 5th victim that led to the professor's arrest. Last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of... Clint Van Zieks. No. I don't believe it. Van Zieks? I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older brother's murder, young Baruch pursued a career as a prosecutor. And eventually became the Reaper we know today. I had no idea Lord Van Zieks had such a tragic past. Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter, for the time being at least. After all, I have work to do. As a waxwork exhibit. Oh, here we go. Farewell. I'm afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well. Oh yes, of course. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. Oh, it's been too long. It really has. I'm glad to see you, Baruch. It's been 10 years, and here we are, meeting in a prison of all places. I can't forgive myself what happened to Mr. Asman. I just can't. I still can't believe it could happen. Tomorrow, the court will decide. Yes. I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though. It was an accident. A terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it. We literally know nothing about what happened. Must warn you. Oh, I know. I've heard already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you? Yes. Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Baruch, are you really? What? Never mind. I know that you have my best interests at heart. My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else. Of course, I fully understand. Thank you, Baruch. Until tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court. Surprisingly human moment from Baruch. I know that's a weird thing to say, but... like... it's the truth, isn't it? It's a surprisingly human moment for Baruch. Like, everything about friendship, everything we've heard about them studying together and being friends in college 10 years ago, like, it's true. And he still holds some affection for the man. That's kind of sweet. I can't believe it's been 6 months since I was last allowed to work in court. And now here I am, back at the Old Bailey. Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Good morning, Professor Hairbrain. Ah, I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. Atmospheric pressure in here is off the charts. I never felt anything like it. It's crushing me. I feel it every time I'm here. And that... gravity. Well, this is Britain's highest court. But are you telling me it's fitted with some kind of device that can actually control the air pressure? No, it's just anxiety. I think it's probably all in the mind? Ah, yes, well, you won't let me down, will you, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm counting on you at today's trial to save my life. To save the secret of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine from being made public. Yes, I understand. I know what I have to do. I have to establish that the explosion 2 days ago was nothing more than an unfortunate accident. Well, I'm sure there's nothing to worry about, really, and justice will prevail. My commiserations, Mr. Naruhodo. You appear to have been loaded with the most tiresome case here. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. I didn't expect to see you here. That is very mean, Rune. I would leave me alone at home with Hurley. It took me at least an hour to wake him. Is it? Are you? Herlock Sholmes? Indeed, sir. I am he. Herlock Sholmes. Oh, I've heard of all about your exploits, even whilst living in Germany. Ah, yes. Rand's magazine is on sale in Germany, too. This month's installment was sublime. Your deduction in the adventure of the Silver Blaze was wonderful. What about the matter of the dog in the barn? What matter, exactly? Ah, yes, a memorable case indeed. It concerned a snake, I seem to recall. No, that was the speckled band. Well, thank you for coming. The Silver Blaze was a racehorse. And the matter of the dog in the barn, of there not being a matter of a dog in the barn, is the fact that the dog recognized the person who came and stole the horse. I do appreciate your support. I'm sorry to disappoint you, my dear fellow, but I'm afraid I can't stay. Oh, I have urgent business at Madame Tuspells. You mean your waxwork job? No, the waxwork abduction, of course. Madame has engaged my services. Ah, so you're trying to get to the bottom of that ransom note, are you? The week's wages depend on it, as does the safe return of the waxwork, naturally. As such, I intend to give it my undivided attention. Oh, well, never mind then. I understand. Get that, Bags. Of course, with my skills for observation and reasoning, resolving the matter will be as easy as proverbial pie. Proverbial pie. I shall return forthwith. Or until I solve the case, I shall have no money to afford a pie of any description. Too real. Ooh, then you must absolutely give it your full attention, Erling. Quite, Iris, quite. But life is riddled with irony, you know. Whenever I give something my full attention, I have a quite insatiable desire for a pie. Or the universe's intractable mysteries, you might say. Oh yes, quite. Definitely. Absolutely. I totally understand. Someone a little starstruck? I wish you the very best of luck, Professor Hairbrain. Why, thank you. Before I depart, Mr. Naruhodo, a word in your ear, if you please. What's this about? As you have remarkably little grounding in science, I feel I ought to inform you. As compelling as this super-high-voltage instantaneous kinesis hypothesis may be, a practical implementation such as what was attempted by the professor at the Great Exhibition is quite impossible. But the professor said the demonstration was a success. Yes, it would appear that he fervently believes it was. I've read Professor Bunnybrain's paper about it too, Runo, and I have to say, I'm sure it can't be done. It could barely be done theoretically, let alone practically. So he's completely barking up the wrong tree? How could an experiment that had no possibility of succeeding in fact succeed? That's contradictory. And it's that contradiction that will be at the heart of the trial, I have no doubt. What's that supposed to mean? Now I must hurry along. I wish you the best of luck, my dear fellow. See you later, Hurley. Very curious. Looks like you've done it looks like you're on your own today, Runo. But chin up, you can do it. Oh, what about you, Iris? Ah, no, I'm afraid I can't help. I have something I need to do. I see. It's gonna be a big surprise for you when you find out what it is. Ah, that sounds ominous. Not for the defense. You man the defendant. Court's about to be in session. Make your way into the courtroom at once. Run away. Alright. Court we go. Experiment that the laws of science say can't possibly succeed. And a scientist who's convinced that it did. That's the riddle you have to unlock here, Ryunosuke. That's the key to this case. And we can't unlock any of it until we actually get our bearings and find out what the hell actually happened. There's going to be a lot of introductory testimony here. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are sitting today for the public trial of Professor Albert Hairbrain. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready, my lord. I'm 6 months out of practice. What's more? No, Susato. I can still hear her voice. I'm without Susato-san today. Is it just my imagination? Does the air in here feel even more oppressive than usual? So, must say I recollect the victim of this case all too well, Mr. Odie Assman. Mr. Assman was well known as a financier, though that was merely a front for his diverse criminal activities. It was only a month ago that the man appeared in court prosecuted by you, Lord Van Zeeks, but the jury unanimously found him not guilty. Because every member of the jury had been bribed, by the sound of it. These powerful London criminals are prepared to go to extreme lengths to keep their freedom. 2 days ago, on the 21st October, Mr. Assman met his end. The work of the Reaper, was it? No comment. If that is how your lordship would describe divine retribution. The fact remains that Mr. Assman's death was a direct result of the actions of the accused, Professor Hairbrain. Very well then. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people. Are the 6 of you ready to fulfill your societal duty? I'm most gratified to have been selected to carry out this important civic duty, my lord. Your face is very rectangular. To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand. Oh gosh, oh golly, it sends shivers down my spine. Science experiments, magic, conjuring tricks, courtroom trials, are nothing more than performances. Any spurious scholar that defies the reputation of science deserves to hang. Thomas Edison. We have to listen to what's said on both sides of the fence and settle on one, and that's it. isn't it?
Wasn't like this in my day. Wasn't like this at all.
Oh boy. That's the police killer Audible look-alike. Again. He's as exhausted as ever, it seems. Interesting choice, but... Now, as I'm sure you're all aware, the incident we are here to judge today tragically took place at the Great Exhibition shortly after its opening. Though the death toll could have been far worse. With the exception of the victim, no one was killed. Nevertheless, the dream of the science being exhibited rapidly turned into a nightmare for the spectators. A tragic turn of events, and as such, the eyes of all London, no, the whole world will be on this trial. It is our duty to reach a swift and just conclusion, I feel. So, your opening statement, please, Lord Van Zieks. At the heart of this incident is technology never before demonstrated anywhere in the world. One of science's latest developments, I take it. The government is keen to capitalize on the Great Exhibition to improve Britain's technological advantage. Technology being demonstrated by the accused was described as super high voltage instantaneous kinesis. Good lord! It's designed to disassemble human subjects using extremely high voltage electricity and beam them instantly to another location where they are subsequently reassembled. Is such a thing even within the realms of possibility?
Well, I don't believe it, that's for sure.
Disassembling people with electricity? My goodness, how shocking. Pun intended.
The whole idea is absurd. Hypothesis would never stand up to scrutiny.
Okay, Edison. Sir, I believe you are a fellow of the Royal Society, are you not? An expert in your field.
I am, and my word on the matter can be considered final. Instantaneous kinesis is poppycock.
This expert and Mr. Sholmes are in agreement. It's impossible. What is the prosecution's view on the matter? The prosecution will assert that the accused's instantaneous kinesis demonstration was a success. Oh! What?
What rot?
That's a order. Surprising turn of events. Professor's hypothesis is currently under investigation by the British government. If it is deemed to have merit, a substantial research grant would be made available. The accused made use of the invention built in his new hypothesis to take Mr. Aspen's life, in order to be the sole benefactor of the grant. Oh. But... This disastrous demonstration was no accident. It was carefully designed from the outset to end the life of the victim. That's almost cold. Is this colder than saying it failed? Thank you, Lord Van Zieks. The prosecution's stance is clear. But you will now bring forth witnesses to substantiate your claims. Gladly, my lord. Bailiff, show the first witness to the stand. This is to the stand. Oh. Okay. Starting straight with Albert and Gregson. Curious choice. I think at this point we'll save and leave off. And when we come back into court gameplay. Until next time, until then.